Aristotle once said, "Time crumbles things, everything grows old under the power of time, is forgotten in a lapse of time." Time has always been one of, if not the most important thing a man has. For thousands of years, the ability to read precise time simply did not exist. So this begs the question, is something as critically essential as knowing the time really important for man? Is it really beneficial for man to quote-unquote take control of the sun and run on mechanical time? And how has learning about time advanced man? One of the first leaps in understanding time came from the early calendars. One of the first iterations of the calendar came from the Egyptians and was based on the lunar cycle and the Nile River. Although, unfortunately, this calendar was off by 1/4 a day, leading to the religious festivals quickly being misplaced in the time of the month. And this calendar spew also bled over into the Eastern Orthodox and Roman Church, where they argued over the solar and lunar calendar. The next iteration of the calendar came in 45 BC with the Julian calendar. The Julian calendar was actually one of the first semi-accurate calendars that slowly over time became inaccurate. It was established throughout the entire Roman Empire and was even stayed after the fall of Rome. In 1582, although this calendar was semi-accurate, it did have its flaws overcompensating for the leap year, leading to 1582 seasonal equinoxes falling 10 days behind and church holidays falling not even the right part of the season. It wasn't until Pope Gregory XIII authorized the Georgian calendar. This calendar was a new advancement and was highly accurate. And with this calendar came 10 days drop from the month of October, and it also brought about an adjustment to the leap year. It took Europe quite a while to actually adjust to this calendar, but once they changed over, Europe's calendar system quickly became more accurate. Religious holidays stayed on time. The next advancement came in machines and the number of the hours in the day. The first means of telling what time it was in the day came from Greenwich Mean Time. This used to use geography, mathematics, and other complex theories and knowledge to be able to tell what time it was in a day. The next iteration came with the sundial. It wasn't until the 16th century that the sundial could actually tell true hours of a day. The setback for a sundial was that you couldn't tell the time when it was cloudy, when it was early morning or late afternoon. Then you couldn't tell the time of the day. The next iteration came with the ability to read time when it was cloudy night or when it was early morning or evening. This was the water clock. The water clock had a steady flow of water dripped into a bowl marked with hours that could tell time. Although this was a huge step up from the sundial, it did not come without its limitations. During different seasons, such as summer, water would flow faster than in winter, causing different hours to take longer for an hour or less for an hour. And then during this, so the Greeks found a brilliant use for this. They placed it in their courts so that they could keep time for how much time a lawyer had and judge and so forth. And the Romans also used it in their courts. And by this point, they also split their days into AM and PM and split them at noon. The next clock came from the monistic clock. This was built by monks to be precise so that they could fulfill their religious duties and prayers on time. This used weights and intervals to gradually keep the time throughout the day. This was a brilliant invention using weights and various other mechanisms to run, and was the most accurate clock to date. And from that clock sprung conical hours and also the sexagesimal system, which we adopted from the Babylonians. And the next iteration of that clock, which is this clock right here, there we go, is a spring clock, where it uses spring mechanism to move it, which is more accurate than weight clocks. Anyway, this helped form a society that ran promptly on time. So has time really helped man? Well, it helps us keep track of what we can do in an hour, when religious events fall, when to praise God, and overall helps human life. But time can also become an idol to man, where he fills his time with useless stuff not used for God. For time was created so that man could worship God. And time used wisely is one of the greatest gifts man has. Thank you.